been very impacting in terms of bringing who I am, so letting my guard down and bringing myself to a group of people, and just being fully supported by that group. So to have to bring something, you know, maybe kind of slowly building up that trust, and to bring maybe a difficulty to the group of people, and instead of a response of, oh, we'll pray for you, the response is, how can we support you in that? So impacting, because you just don't get that in any other group. And also for Gideon, he was 2 when we started to meet as a group together, so he's grown up with a group of Christians supporting each other, and he's seen that, and having adults talk to him and ask him how his day was, it's made a big impact on him as well, and our family.
I think generally there's been some very practical impacts. I think I got married last October, and in that it was there was practical help with my community members helping us to paint some rooms where we're staying at the moment, which we wouldn't have got done as quick if we didn't have them. I think also it's impacted because we've been able to share the joy and the celebration of us coming together and being married in a deeper level than we ever would have with other people, deeper than we could with just friends or acquaintances, but instead celebrating with people that genuinely care about us wholeheartedly. I think that's been a massive impact and benefit.
So yeah, being in community with people, being in relationship with people has meant that I have pushed myself and grown further than what I could have done alone. And actually I've been shaped to become more how God intended me to be. And those people that loved me, they were committed to me, they saw where I could go and where I could grow to with them and with God, and wouldn't let me just take the easy path to turn away. The other really good thing about being in relationship with others, and I know this for me personally, is that when you're in a wider church family, so it's really good to be in a wider church family setting and to have that bigger group of people to corporately worship with. Actually, you can't, in that setting, you can't do what you do in a community setting, in a smaller group setting. If somebody came up to me on a Sunday morning who barely knew me and they wanted to challenge me or criticise me, I'm not sure I'd take it the best way. But actually, when I'm in a group of people or in relationship with an individual that I know is committed to me and loves me, and the reason they're challenging me is because they want the best for me, if I'm challenged by them, I'm so much more likely to take the challenge and understand where they're coming from. And you just can't get that in a wider setting. So I think being in that relationship with other Christians, being in deep relationship with them, walking your faith through with them, is so important, because you just can't get that intimacy in a wider setting.
I think it was starting out in the beginning, trying to fully bring myself to a group of people that I knew, but I didn't quite know. I'd never really done that before in a group of people, so I found that quite difficult. And also, I'm quite conflict adverse, so if there was any like difficult conversations, my kind of reaction was to just try to ignore it or like change the subject, try to move on. But actually the result of those conversations have just been incredibly beneficial to everyone, and we have grown more together as a group because of the difficult times and the difficult conversations, and that's just been incredible.
I think one of the most difficult parts of community is putting up with people's oddities and discovering people's oddities. Community isn't just people that you're going to know all the time and that you're mates with already and that you already agree with, but there are people that actually might tick you off and you might get annoyed by. And I think having to put up with that, having to deal with that and work through that with the other people in your group is a challenge and is difficult, but I think out of it comes a great joy and a deeper understanding of each other.
I think one of the difficulties in being in relationship with other Christians, especially kind of this deeper relationship where you're committed to one another, is that I know for myself, when I've initially committed to that group of people or that individual, there's been a real fear of being exposed. I think there is a kind of risk involved in it, of being vulnerable with people and opening yourself up to others. Because actually there's a fear of being rejected. There's a risk that if you open yourself up, that people can walk away and you're left feeling hurt. So I think for me personally, when I've committed to that, I've found it really helpful to know that we're all on the same page, that we're all committing to the same thing. So when things get hard, you can't just walk away, because you're committed to these people and they're committed to you. I know that when I've been, there's been times where I've been really low, and I know that I'm meant to be meeting with someone that I'm in deep relationship with, or a group of people that I'm trying to do community with, and I haven't want to turn up, and I don't want to be there. I'm struggling, I'm low, and nothing's going to change my mind. And actually, I've had to battle those thoughts in my head, because I'm not going because I feel like I have to. I'm not going because I feel pressured to. But actually, the reason I choose to go, the reason I choose to be there, is because I've committed to a group of people. They've committed to me. I've committed to be there in the good and the bad. I've committed to be there when I'm struggling. I've committed to be there when I'm doing great. And they've committed to love me in all of those situations. They've committed to love me when I can't contribute much because I'm just struggling. And actually, I don't know if I'm going to turn up and everyone else is struggling and we're all in the same boat, and that's fine. But yeah, the real beauty of it is that they love me in my brokenness. They love me in the struggle, and they've loved me through the tears and sometimes the screaming. And for me, that's been a real risk, and that's been a real step out in faith, to be that open with people. But when I know that they're there because they love me, not because I'm giving them something or I'm trying to please them, actually, that's just so wholesome and so fulfilling, and it really speaks of like who God is and who His people are called to be. And I think, yeah, the difficulty has been stepping out and risking that, but the benefits have just been incredible. Another difficulty with being in relationship with other Christians, and something that I think God's pushing me to do more, but has done already, is that being in community with people, it's important to be in community with people that are different to you. So if there's a group of people that you all look the same. So if I look around the group of people I'm in relationship with, and we all look the same, we all think the same, we all talk the same, we all smell the same, we all agree with one another, then actually there's no opportunity to be challenged, and there's no opportunity to grow, and there's a danger, although it's nice and it's lovely, there's a danger that you become in a bubble of you're always right, you're always right. And the reality of the world is that we're not, and we're always pushed to learn and grow. And I know I've been in relationships with people, with other Christians in groups and individuals, where somebody said something and I've been like, I am never talking to that person again. I'm never going to speak to them again, never going to, past this point, I'm never going to be in relationship with them. And I'm still friends with them now because we worked through it, we pushed through it, and we're completely different people. We have completely different opinions on things. Our upbringings are completely different, but actually we've understood each other, and we've been committed enough to one another to really understand where we're coming from, to understand we're not always right, to understand that actually you can love someone and still disagree with them. And I think God's pushing me more to be in relationship with people that I disagree with, which is exciting, but it's also terrifying, because who on earth would say that they want to be in relationship with people they don't like, who annoy them? But I think this is really important, because difference provides an opportunity to grow. Difference provides an opportunity to learn. And although it's a challenge and it's hard and it's painful at times, I think that's what Jesus taught. I think that's what Jesus lived out. He lived with people that were difficult. He lived with people that were different and not accepted by society.
I've always felt that going to small groups, it was more about what I got out of the group rather than my contribution. Whereas with this group, I feel that Jesus wants me to bring all of who I am and all of myself to this group, and then the group is better off because of my contribution. It's when we all look after each other, then no one is in need.
I think community is important to be following Jesus because the Bible tells us to do it. It tells us to never tire of meeting with people, and being with people and giving our full selves towards other people allows iron to sharpen iron more. It allows us to discuss and to question and to laugh together at a deeper level than you ever could as just a base level friendship or an acquaintance level.
I think being in deeper relationships with other Christians is really important for following Jesus. I think because we were created to be in relationship with people. We weren't created to be alone. I know that I struggle being alone. I end up in my own thoughts and spiraling. And actually when we're in community with people, we're challenged to step out of that. We're challenged to be honest with people, to be accountable with people. We saw Jesus living in community, and they benefited from that. I think he benefited from that, having people around him. I think it's important because for me personally, I think it's been important because when I've been struggling with doubts and insecurities, there have been people around me to speak truth and remind me that actually I'm loved, I'm worthy, I'm accepted, and I'm enough. And I think being in community often provides an opportunity to be reminded of those things and to be grounded. And also, as I've already said, it brings challenge and it brings opportunity to grow that you wouldn't be able to find by yourself. You can't challenge yourself because you're caught up in your own thoughts.